Good morning. Looks like we're live and everything should be working. And I even have microphones set up. All right, so we are back continuing learning with Rust. I'm also interested to see, I was wondering if YouTube automatically tweeted out for me because they claim they are going to. Uh, but I didn't see any evidence of that. Then maybe it wouldn't show up on my. Oh, no, it did. It just didn't show up in my feed. It just showed up in my account. Okay. Reconnection successful. That's not a good sign. Uh, let's make sure that things are going. No drop frames. Live for 1 minute 42 seconds. All right. Preview window seems to be doing fine. Okay, so hopefully whatever that hitch was with OBS wasn't that big of a problem. All right, so with that, I'm going to continue on. I just realized that I don't have my glasses. It's gonna be an interesting stream today because last night I was at a develop happy hour meetup. Ended up going a little bit later than expected, and it was sponsored too. So that meant free drinks for everybody. And it was an excellent venue, excellent chance to meet everybody. And for those of you who may be new to the programming world watching this, don't let anybody tell you that programmers don't know how to party, because generally speaking, the geekier the group, the heavier they party, it seems. All right, so if I remember correctly, we had finished creating this guessing game in chapter 2. And we reached the end of chapter 2, but before moving on to chapter 3, I wanted to recreate this, but instead of the computer creating a number and we guessing, it would be we create the number and the computer guesses. So with that, let's come down to, we have our learning Rust. I was also trying to figure out how to get the code auto completion and everything else, and all that install stuff that happened yesterday. Nothing really worked with it. So maybe I'll figure that out eventually. It looks like Linux is not set up perfectly for installing Rust yet, but hopefully I can. I'll figure this out and like show off how I do that. Okay, so here I'm in Learning Rust. Let's go into chapter 2. And if I remember correctly, it's cargo, new, and then the name of the project. So last time it was guessing game. I'm thinking we'll call this reverse guessing game. Oh, right. Created binary application reverse guessing game project. That's nice because I forgot that generally we were putting the --bin on there to make it a binary, but it looks like it didn't really care. It created a binary anyways. There's our cargo.tomo. If I just do cargo run, yep, we got our hello world. Here's our reverse guessing game here. I'm going to close all these files. This all seems to be fine. Okay, function main, print line, hello world. Obviously, we're not going to be doing this. We're going to be doing a little bit more. So the first thing, I mean, it's the first thing that we're going to do is have it ask us, hey, what is the number that you're thinking of? So we could do this in print line. Welcome to the reverse guessing game. Oh, that's interesting. I have no idea why that was put in here and by the snippet. I uninstalled the previous snippet of Rust decode and then installed Rust, which is from the Rust Lang organization. So hopefully this one will be a little bit better. Okay, so print line, welcome to the reverse guessing game. Please guess a number between 1 and 100. Yeah, it is using RLS. Oh, is that from what we saw here? Yeah, using RLS, but like, so it's claiming racers not found. I don't actually know if it Rust language server. If you don't have it installed, the extension will install it for you. Well, I mean, I just clicked the install and everything seemed to work, so I don't know what else I would need. And also, good morning, Danny. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so please guess a number between 1 and 100. And then what I'm going to want to do is we want to have it mutable, and it's going to be our string. What is it? It's going to be a string for input, so it's going to be like a secret number. So let our mutable secret number equals, and then we're going to set this to an empty string. And if I remember, it was like in standard, it's in like the standard library. So is there a way to find where these things are? I know that there's the documentation. I can't remember. It said there was, I think Rust people are math geniuses because I spent hours trying to figure out the most popular collision detection library yesterday. Huh. And then I guess there's a lot of really good ones, or they're just very complicated. Where's the, okay, I want to go to the reference. So let's go to Rust Lang. Documentation. All right. So I don't want the book. I want like just the full reference. An entire book dedicated to explaining how to write unsafe Rust code. Standard library API reference. Oh, that's weird. I can't move it. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so in standard, I want string. Okay, standard string. This module contains the string type, a trait for converting two strings. Well, actually, it contains type. If I search for string, okay, so it's public structure string. And so what I would want to do is create the basic isn't it like standard dot or colon string? Isn't that where it's from? Because I remember using it, but it looks like here it's just. Oh, okay. String new. That's what it is. So it's string new, like that. Okay, so we're going to create our secret number, and then we want to get this from, we want to get it from the command. Like, so we want to get input, and that's like from the IO. Which I believe isn't standard, because in standard we want IO stuff. Standard IO, well, that's files. Standard input and output. Okay, so IO standard in read line, and then we hand it, of course, what we want to put in there, and then you typed this. Okay, so that's what we want. Ooh, note that you cannot use the question mark operator in functions that do not return a result. Oh, I didn't even notice that. IG main. You can call unwrap or match on a return value to catch any possible errors. Oh, but what, wasn't there like an accept? Which they don't have here. The error type for IO operations. Oh, standard in. That's what we want. Oh, maybe. Okay, so here's this match IO standard in read line, and then we're going to put it into the mute input, and then we have our okay, and then our specifically error. And what's interesting is, if I remember correctly, they did the match somewhere else, but this makes a lot of sense too. So if we then put, so we're going to do a match. We're going to need to use standard library IO from that library. Match IO called standard in dot read line, and we're going to put in a reference to the mutable memory location of secret number. And now if it's okay, I don't want to do anything, right? So if I say if it's okay, it takes an n and returns n. Otherwise, if it's error, it takes in the error, and then we're going to print line, because this will exit the program, I think. Print line, and we're going to say there was an error. And then that should exit out. Oh yeah, no semicolon, comma. And what I would really like to do is just now have a just our print line here, because we've done a lot now. So the secret number is secret number. All right, let's save this. Let's compile it. So cargo run. Match arms have incompatible types. All right, so the match arms are these things. We have 2 arms here. Expected U size found open and close parentheses. Okay, so which one? Now, what did they do? Match iOS centerline mute input. We have mute input equals string new, which I'm doing here. Match. So match IO standard in read line. We hand it the secret number, the mutated, the reference to the mutation, the mutable point in memory. Now, does it want this to just sort of, and we just don't do anything? I don't know if that works. Or what if I don't even have OK at all? What if I only have error? Pattern OK not covered. So it doesn't like that at all. Now the other choice is, if I remember, if I don't do match, I think there's like an accept or expect dot expect the getting the number didn't work. Ooh, cargo, so that ran. Okay, so please guess a number between 1 and 100. If I say 50, the secret number is 50. Now, one thing I remember is, take a look at that. There's an extra line there. I want to trim this. And I'm wondering, can I trim right here? Or will that mean the expect happens? And I would want, I'm guessing I want to, like, I need to re-enter itself. But that's, yeah, it doesn't like that. So I'm gonna need to say, or I can do dot trim here, can't I? $50, and then it works, yeah. Okay, so that's perfectly fine. So we have our secret number, although it does have a new line character on it. So we just have to remember that for right now, for when we convert it to a, we're gonna need to convert it to an integer. Okay, so we have that. Getting the number didn't work. Okay, so we have these. That mute. I'm gonna print. Once we have the secret number, we need to create our initial guess. Then that's going to be our random. So if I remember correctly, it was in crate. We had to find it in crates. So where's the list of crates? So Rust crates. Crates.io, that's what it is. I want rand. I don't want pre. Okay, that's interesting. So we'll put this in here. Oh, interesting. Add this to your cargo.toml and this to your crate root. Extern crate rand? Why would I want to do that? I don't really remember doing that. I thought it was just adding this to the dependencies, which let's do that. So cargo.toml, add this to dependencies, save the file. All right, so now we want to get a random number here. So we're going to use rand RNG for random number generation, and so mutable random number generator equals rand thread RNG it is also possible to use other random number generator types. Oh, there's not very much here. Oh, right. I remember there was some kind of documentation that I can use to open it. Okay, this is a little bit better. RNG is the main trait and needs to be imported. The key function is RNG gen. It is polymorphic, so it can be used to generate many types. The most convenient source of randomness is likely thread RNG, which automatically initializes a fast algorithmic generator on first use per thread with thread local storage. Okay, that's probably what I want. Is like we're gonna start with a random number. Because, like, of course, we could start with 50. Maybe we should just do that. We'll have our guess. So let guess equals, and we'll just start with the number 50. And then we wanted that compared, didn't we? There was standard. Was it CMP? Yeah, okay. Ordering. Equivalence, total order, partial ordering. So I can use the ordering and we get less, equal, or greater. Okay, use standard, compare ordering. That result equals 1.compare. Is that standard error? Well, I mean, to me that looks like standard error, but that's clearly something different. Search equal ordering less, and then run the result. I vaguely remember we used match for that though. And if we use match, then it becomes a little bit easier because we're going to be able to use those arrow things. I'm also going to have to convert my secret number to an integer. So what was that? It was I don't remember how to do that off the top of my head. Let's take a look again. Let's look at my old code. Right, so here's where we get to say like, okay, again. Oh, this is where we were using match with this. Because here it was like, okay, consider it in read line, and then expect it. But this one was, okay, let the guess, we have to tell it specifically to be the unsigned 32-bit integer. And this is where we match, and it was the parse. That's what's really doing it. Now, can I just do the expect here too? I want to try that. So, and there was nothing, it's let, do I have to tell it to be a secret? No, so you don't need to have it be mutable again. I can just say, let secret number, but I need to tell it to be U32 equals secret number dot. So we're going to trim, and then we're going to dot parse. Now, if I do a dot expect, and we can say converting the secret number to an int didn't work. Okay, so now if I print line, let's just print the secret number again. And let's see if this works. Cargo run. Oh, it's got to go and find and download rand. Okay, unused variable guess, but that's okay. We're still in the middle of this. 50 and 50. Okay, so that seemed to work. My guess is they were showing us how to deal with the okay if we wanted to, but since this came into secret number and it's now a number, I should be able to do our compare with it. And so we have our guess is 50. And if I want to do secret, I think it was match secret number dot compare. This is where we need to go back to here to compare. And it was ordering. Okay. Yes, so one dot compare and then with the other thing. So secret number dot compare with our guess. And then we have less, greater than, or equal. Greater, less, or equal. And so it's ordering less. Okay. So we're going to need to bring this in. So use where is the U? It's standard compare ordering. So standard compare ordering. Ordering equal, I think. So if it's equal, Is it ordering equal and then I just do the arrow function? I can't remember what comes into here, or if I care about that. I might just do something like this, and then we'll do a print line. Print line and say, you got it, or I got it. I guessed the number. It was guess. Okay, then I would want, I'm going to close this window to make it a little bit easier. Ordering greater than, I think. Is it equal or is it less with? I think it's equal with a capital E. And less here. Print line looks like my guess is a little low. Guess. And then finally, ordering greater. I'm a little high on my guess. Okay, and comma there. Now this is, of course, only going to do one of them, but let's see if this actually works or if I've got a major problem. I have a minor problem. Okay. Expected tuple struct variant found unit variant ordering equal. Not as tuple struct variant. Okay, so that's not exactly how to use it. What's interesting is that this, oops. The documentation for ordering here is different where it's not using the match method. Less becomes greater, greater becomes less. Oh, that's reverse. Never mind. Not worried about it. Because they have this, okay, assert equal ordering but I want to do it with match. Let's go back and take a look at how we were doing it here. So it was match, the guess, compare. Oh, we passed in the reference to secret number. Oh, it's not a method. It's not a method. It's not a function. So we're just passing in those things. Okay. So if I take off these, I'm guessing it's going to yell at me next about guess not being a reference to a point in memory. Expected point in memory to U32 found integral variable. Consider borrowing here. Wait, consider borrowing here? You mean consider just copying and pasting this code in? All right, so let's pass in the specific spot in memory. Try this again. All right, so if I say 50, I guess the number, it was 50. All right, let's try it again. I'll give it 25. Looks my guess is a little low, 50. And 75, I'm a little high on my guess, 50. I think I reversed my logic there. Because secret number, I think I want to do guess here and secret number here, and I think that will make it make a lot more sense. So 50 will still be correct. If I'm 25, I'm a little high, yes, and 75, I'm a little low. All right, so this makes a lot of sense. Now we can potentially call functions or do some other stuff here. All right, this is where I want to loop through also, because I want u to be up here. We can start u. Oh, please guess a number between 1 and 50. So I want you all to happen up above the loop. So then we get the secret number, then we're going to create a guess. We're going to create a guess every single time through the loop. Loop and re-indent you. All right, so how are we doing here? We have our guess is, we're going to start with 50. That's secret number U32. Converting secret number to, okay, so this can also happen right after we do this. So we have our guess. We compare the guess with the secret number. Ordering equal, print line. Okay, I guess the number, it was fine. This is great, but what we're going to want to do is also break out. So what is it? Just break. My watch was trying to talk to me. Okay. Yeah, thank you, watch. I don't know if you could hear that. All right, so we have ordering if it's equal. Now, if it's less than this, what do we want to do? We want to just do the cut in half method, right? Well, that might be a little bit simple at if we cut, I wonder what happens if we cut in half when it's an integer. It'll first be fine, it'll be 25, but then again, from that, it'll be 13 and a half, or maybe just 13, or 12, I don't know. So 12 and a half, it would be 12 and a half. Let's go ahead and put this into brackets as well. All right, so looks like my guess is a little bit low. And the next thing that we want to do here is tell it, okay, I want you to, well, if we're a little low, we want to increase our guess. So we want the difference between 100, the max. So let's create some of these. We're going to do let max possible secret is equal to 100. Let min possible secret is equal to 1. So what I'd want to do here is say, okay, get the difference between the max and the current guess, which of course will be 50. Cut that in half, and then add that. So let difference equals, it's going to be max possible secret minus the current guess. So guess. And I think I want to put these into functions so that I can just call it and return it. But I'm going to do it here for this second. So let the difference equals max possible secret minus guess, and then we're going to sort of cut this in half. I wonder, I could just do another one. Let amount to add equals to difference divided by 2. And then what we're going to want to do is say, we have our let guess equals 50. But if we loop through, we're going to lose this, aren't we? But I kind of want to do this out of here. We're immediately going to start our guess. Heading out to Bar Lake to see some owlet. See you later. Keep on resting. Awesome. Well, have a great day, Danny. Thanks for stopping by. I think I want to do let mute guess equals 50. And in here, I now want to do the same thing we did up there. So let guess. Wonder if I need to like specifically tell it, or if it's going to assume it's going to be the exact same. Equals, I'm hoping it will. Amount guess plus amount to add. And then the next time through, it'll be different. And of course, I want to do the same thing here as well. I'm going to copy you. Yeah, this is definitely going to be going into some kind of function here. So let difference equals max possible secret. Well, this run is going to be guess minus 1. Well, I guess we don't really need even difference. The amount to add is going to be the guess divided by 2. Guess equals, okay. So let's try saving this and see what horrible errors we end up with. Just a bunch of warnings. Oh, interesting. The variable does not need to be mutable. Unused variable guess, but I'm using guess. Hold on, this is... Unused variable, minimal possible secret. Oh yeah, I'm not using that yet. Which, actually... Yeah, eventually I might. Unused variable guess at source. Let guess equals guess. Oh, okay. Why is that an unused variable guess? Also, it's telling me that this guess doesn't need to be mutable. Unused variable, but it's still telling me that guess is unused even though we're using it in a couple different times. Is it because we're creating it here? Like, could I just say this? Cannot assign twice to immutable variable guess. Okay, maybe if I put mute here now. Aha, okay. And then I comment that line out for right this second. Now there's no errors or warnings. Perfect. All right, so please guess number between 1 and 100. I'm going to do 60. Well, that was fun. Let's see what... All right, so looks... I put 60 in. Looks my guess is a little low, 50. I'm a little high on my guess, 75. But it added it. So that wasn't what I wanted. If my guess is a little low, I want to add it. If I'm a little bit high, I want to subtract it. Save. All right, I'm going to choose 60 again. Looks my guess is a little low. Okay, hold on. Control C. It got into an infinite loop here. Looks my guess is a little low, 34. And then it went, I'm a little high on my guess, 67. So it got stuck into a point where it was, the cut in half wasn't working properly. I think I want to say, what is my guess? So print line, I guess guess. Okay. We can have, I guess, the number here a little low. I don't have to put the numbers in for each one now. We also don't need this part. Oh, interesting. It does not. Oh, that's how I do multi-cursors. Okay, let's save that. Ooh, okay. Oops. Well, wait, where was that? Invalid format string, unmatched, closing. Print line, looks my guess is a little low, closing brackets. There, oh, there you are. Okay, so if I choose 60, let's go back through here and see what happened. Oh man, it did so many of these so quickly. Up and ran out of my buffer. Looks my guess is a little low, I guess 67. A little high. Then it's cutting that in half. I almost feel like, oh man, I forget the standard algorithm for this. I don't want to do just a pure cut in half, do I? I want to remember what my last guess is, and it's the difference between that. Because I want to always be sort of like dialing in on it. So if I increased by a certain amount and decreased by a certain amount, then I want to sort of like cut that in half and increase by that amount. Okay, so we don't want to just have this. We want to say, okay, the difference, max possible secret, minus guess. We almost want like another variable for the last guess amount. Now, of course, I could also just have it do, like, instead of trying to get really, really straight in, it'd almost be fun to just do a random number. Use rand, and then it just chooses a random number, goes for that. That's one way. I guess what I could do is continue thinking about this. I do realize we're coming close to the end of the stream time. So in the last few minutes, I do want to sort of think about this instead of trying a different way. And then I'll decide what to do. And then tomorrow morning, we'll finish up this this program. And if there's time, we'll start on chapter 3. Okay, so we have our difference. And if it's 50 and then we want to guess up to 75, like we want to then guess 75 because that's the difference between 50 and the max, which would be 100. But if it's below 75, we don't want to cut 75 in half. We want to cut 75 from the last guess in half. So if I increased by 25, I want to decrease by half of that. So let's have a let mute last last guess change amount. Now can I kind of want to say like equals 0 to begin with. And then we're going to either that, or I can say maybe like a U32. Can I do that? We'll find out. Then in here, okay, so if we guess a little bit low, our difference is if our last guess change amount, I'm actually really interested to see what this will be. So I want to print line last guess change amount. And I want you to not exist for right this second. Oop. What do we have here? A lot of errors. Okay, so unused import, that's fine. All these unused variables. Error. Use of possibly uninitialized variable. Last guess change amount. Okay, so that freaked out, but that's fine. So that's just telling me there's nothing in there. If I was to then say last guess change amount equals 50, would this work? It would indeed. Okay, so that's exactly what I was hoping that it would do. We just are basically setting this to be a type U32, and that's it. It's uninitial, like it hasn't been set yet. We don't need you. We're going to re-enable all of you. So now, what I want to do, we're just going to start with guessing 50. Then we have, okay, we want, it's not really going to be the the difference, we want to say last guess change amount if it exists, and I could also set this to just be equal to 0. Then when we come down here, hey, if that's 0, which I haven't done any if statements yet, so that will be interesting. If this is 0, let the difference we want that. Yeah, so if, oh, okay, so the condition just goes like that. So I would say if the 0 is equal to the last guess change amount, then we want to send last guess change amount to max possible secret minus guess. So I'm going to say last guess change amount equals to max possible secret minus guess. This goes away. Now I wonder how an else. Just exactly like that. I want to put this on a new line now. Okay, so else we're going to have last guess change amount equals last guess change amount divided by 2. Guess equals guess plus last guess change amount. And we're going to want to do the exact same thing here, except reversed. So if we're a little bit high on our guessed, so if we're 0, we want this to just be the guess divided by 0, but the guess divided by 2. Otherwise, it's going to be the last guess change amount divided by 2, and then we're a little bit high, so we want to minus. All right, let's see if this works or if we get horrible errors. Ooh, okay, let's do 60 again. I guess 50. Looks my guess is a little bit low. I guess 100. I'm a little high in my guess. I guess 75. A little high in my guess. I guess 63, 57, 60. All right. And let's try it again with like 43. I guess 50, I guess 25, 37, 43. I guess the number. All right, well, it looks like I have a working game now. If I choose 99, it takes a little bit longer, but it gets there. So no matter what, it's eventually getting there. It's because they're integers, so when we divide by 2, it is taking the bottom one. And if I choose 1, yep, it still gets there too. Oh, interesting, look at that. It's guessing multiple times before it eventually drops down to 1. But it is still getting there, so that's actually pretty good. Okay, so I like this. This is pretty cool. Now these are pretty much exactly the same. So what I would want to do is put this into a function. But as it is 8 o'clock, what I'm going to do instead is send this on up. Tomal. Okay, so I'm going to send this on up, which has created a guessing game where the computer guesses the number. Also, I want to update the README. So this is now refactoring the ordering match to use functions to make the code a bit cleaner. And then it'll be on to chapter 3. Let's save that. We'll send this on up. Updated where I'm at. And sending on up. So in the description of this this video, VOD, stream, wherever you are watching this, there is a link to the GitHub repository where all this code is. I also have a link to the book that I'm following through. Although we didn't really use this book very much today, we used mostly the standard documentation, which is eventually, when we finish the book, what we'll be using. So we created an awesome little reverse game of what we did last time, where the computer is guessing, and we just used sort of active recall to sort of solidify these things in my brain. And with that, this stream is done. I hope that you're having a great day. Tomorrow is Thursday. I don't see any reason why I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow as well. So I hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. And click.